Hey, Betty. Ready for something really fascinating today? We're going to take a deep dive into hypno-channeling with Naomi from the Hypnovibes YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
You know how we're always going on about expanding consciousness and tapping into, deeper awareness?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is, next level.
Yeah, this is taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
What's so intriguing here is that it's not Jessica, the one being hypnotized,
Right.
is the source of these profound insights. It's this channeled energy.
Oh.
It's like this whole other perspective on getting to universal wisdom.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. So, we're essentially tuning into a frequency beyond, our normal conscious awareness.
Yeah.
We're kind of bypassing the limitations of, the individual mind, and we're tapping into something way bigger.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating is that this energy isn't just speaking in vague generalities. It's giving these really specific insights and teachings. In one session, Naomi channeled mushroom energy.
Mushroom energy.
And the messages got really interesting.
Okay, now you've got me really curious. What kind of messages did this mushroom energy have for us?
Well, first of all, it really emphasized the importance of intention.
Oh.
The channeled energy said that the intent of the growers actually influences the experience. Jessica described the energy as vibrating higher.
Whoa!
Because of the growers' good intentions.
So it's not even just the substance itself, but the energy that's within it.
Yes.
That's kind of how we talk about the energy we bring to our own intentions, right?
Yeah.
And how that impacts our manifestations.
Precisely. It's such a beautiful parallel, isn't it? And you know what? This ties into a bigger theme throughout the session.
Mm-hmm.
This interconnectedness of everything.
This interconnectedness idea comes up a lot in spiritual teachings.
Yeah.
But did the channeled energy elaborate at all on what that means in a practical sense?
Yeah.
How does this awareness really impact our lives?
What's interesting is that the session goes into this idea that both mushrooms and ayahuasca, while they're totally different substances, ultimately serve kind of a similar purpose.
I'm actually really curious about that because they produce such different experiences. Mm-hmm. What did it say about their shared purpose?
It said they both aim to reveal this interconnectedness, to help us understand that we're not isolated individuals, but part of this huge web of existence.
So it's less about the specific journey and more about the destination, that realization of unity.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder if they can do that. Do we need them?
That's a great question. And it leads us to another important thing the session talked about, trust.
Okay.
The channeled energy explains that when you're under the influence of these substances, there's an automatic surrender, this inherent trust in the experience. However, when we're not under the influence, our human minds, with all our conditioning and limits, tend to create resistance.
It's like our inner critic gets in the way.
Yeah.
We overthink, we analyze, and then we block the flow of that intuitive wisdom.
Exactly. We get caught up in the how and the why instead of just receiving.
Yeah.
And that's where inner medicine comes into play.
Okay.
The session suggests that we are basically our own medicine.
Interesting.
We have this ability to connect with this universal wisdom without needing those external substances.
So it's not about seeking something outside ourselves, but tapping into a source that's already within us.
Yeah.
But how do we access that?
Right.
How do we cultivate that same level of trust we might feel with substances?
The channeled energy has a really cool idea here.
Okay.
It says that there's an energy that's always available to answer our questions.
Mm.
And it operates in ways we might think are like magic.
Interesting.
So it's like this universal intelligence, this guiding force that's always interacting with us, whether we're aware of it or not.
So instead of trying to force a connection, it's more about becoming receptive to this intelligence that's always there.
Yes.
It's like we're swimming in wisdom and we just need to float.
Beautiful analogy.
And trust that the current will carry us.
Yeah.
And the session says we don't have to struggle to connect with this wisdom. It's about quieting the mind, letting go of limiting beliefs, and trusting that the answers will come at the perfect time.
It's interesting because you mentioned earlier that the intention of the mushroom growers influences the experience, right?
Right.
So it seems like intention's a big deal here too. If we approach this inner exploration with an open heart and a genuine desire to connect, and maybe that helps us receive these insights.
Absolutely. Intention creates a frequency that aligns us with what we want. And this leads to another fascinating part of the session. The physical things Jessica experienced during the channeling.
You mean like physical sensations or movements?
Exactly.
What kind of things were happening?
She had these intense physical reactions, almost like contractions or spasms. It wasn't just intellectual or emotional. It was like deeply physical. That's so interesting. I've heard of physical releases during energy work, but in hypno-channeling, that seems really significant. What did the channeled energies say about what those physical manifestations meant?
It described them as energy moving through her body, a real expression of the realizations and little transformations happening inside her. It's like her physical form was catching up to what her mind was understanding.
So like those aha moments we get mentally and emotionally were also showing up physically.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like a full body integration of the wisdom.
Exactly. It really shows how interconnected the mind, body, and energy are, and how big shifts can happen on every level.
This is all so fascinating. It seems like hypno-channeling is like a super highway to speed up our growth and tap into these incredible levels of wisdom. But did the session give any guidance on how we can start to build that trust and access this inner medicine ourselves?
Remember how the channeled energy said we are our own medicine? Yeah. It implies that we already have everything we need. It's about recognizing that inner power and learning to trust our intuition, that voice that guides us towards truth.
It's like that saying, the kingdom of God is within you.
Yes.
It's not about seeking outside validation or answers.
Right.
It's about turning inward and finding that wisdom that's always been there. But for someone listening who's totally new to this, it could be a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
Where do we even start to tap into that inner guidance system?
Well, you could check out more of Naomi Zhu's work. She has a book series called The Next Level You that really gets into these ideas of raising consciousness and accessing higher states of being.
Great.
You can get it on Amazon.
Awesome. That's a great resource for anyone wanting to dive deeper.
Yeah.
What I love about this whole conversation is that it gives us the power to take charge of our own spiritual evolution. It's not about relying on gurus or anything. It's about cultivating our own inner compass.
Exactly.
And trusting that inner wisdom.
Yes, and remember, Betty, the biggest changes often start with small, consistent steps. It's about adding practices into your daily life that cultivate presence, stillness, and self-reflection. Maybe that's meditation, journaling, spending time in nature, whatever works for you.
Yeah, whatever helps you tune in to that inner voice.
Right.
That's such an important reminder.
Yeah.
It's not about chasing some big mystical experience, but about integrating these principles into our everyday lives.
Yeah.
It's about finding the sacred in the ordinary.
Exactly. And as we build this inner connection, we might start noticing synchronicities.
Oh, yeah.
Those little meaningful coincidences that seem to guide us.
I love those.
Yeah.
Those synchronicities are like little winks from the universe, reminding us we're on the right path.
Exactly.
It's about paying attention to those subtle signs and trusting that we're being guided towards our potential.
And as we lean into that trust, we might find that the answers come in unexpected ways.
Yes.
Sometimes through a conversation, a book, a song, those random moments that just spark something deep inside us.
It's like the universe is always talking to us.
Yes.
Offering help and guidance. But we have to tune in and listen.
Right.
And when we cultivate that openness, we open ourselves to infinite possibilities.
And isn't that what this journey of consciousness exploration is all about? Embracing the mystery, trusting the process, and letting ourselves be guided to who we really are.
So beautifully said.
Thank you.
So Betty, as we go deeper into this session,
yes,
let's remember that it's not just about understanding these concepts in our heads. It's about living them. What really spoke to you? What parts of this made you feel something?
Those are the clues to your own journey.
Right.
And remember, it's not about comparing yourself to anyone else.
Yeah.
It's about honoring your own inner wisdom and trusting your own unique path.
So let's turn our attention to those physical things Jessica experienced during the channeling.
Yeah.
We talked about how they represented realizations and changes.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about what those shifts might look like practically. What kind of changes might someone experience as they connect with this deeper awareness?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's like those contractions were symbolic of her shedding old patterns and beliefs.
Yeah.
Things that weren't serving her anymore. It's a powerful image, isn't it?
It is. And you know, it's fascinating that the channeled energy didn't give specific details about what those transformations were. It gave a framework for understanding the process.
Okay.
One of the key takeaways was this idea of perspective shifts.
So instead of giving her concrete answers, it was about helping her see things in a new way. It's like empowering her to find her own answers, her own path.
Exactly. It's like give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime.
I love that.
This channeled energy wasn't about giving Jessica a solution.
Right.
It was about guiding her to a deeper understanding of herself and her own wisdom.
And that self-discovery process never ends.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like we have one epiphany and then we're done.
Absolutely. And that's what makes hypnochanneling so exciting.
Yeah.
It's not about getting knowledge or having one mystical experience. It's about going on a journey of self-exploration, peeling back the layers, and discovering who we truly are.
And remember, Betty, you have those same tools and resources. Naomi's The Next Level You book series on Amazon goes deep into these concepts and offers practical guidance for raising your own consciousness.
Don't underestimate your own intention and commitment to this journey. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow.
Yeah.
With consistent effort and an open mind, you can create those same profound shifts within yourself.
So Betty, as we wrap up this deep dive into hypnochanneling, we encourage you to think about what resonated with you. What insights felt familiar? What parts of this made you want to learn more?
Those are your soul's whispers, guiding you towards your truth.
Yes.
Trust them. Nurture that curiosity. And remember, even a 1,000-mile journey starts with one step.
Beautifully said. It's been such a mind-expanding exploration, and we hope it's left you feeling inspired and empowered to start your own journey of self-discovery. Until next time, keep diving deep.
Bye, Betty.
Bye.
It's not about seeking validation from outside or answers.
Right.
It's about going within and finding that wisdom that's already there.
But for someone new to this, it might feel a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin to tap into that inner guidance?
Well, one thing you could do is explore Naomi Shu's work further.
Right.
She has a book series.
Oh, cool.
It's called The Next Level You that goes into these ideas of like raising consciousness and getting to higher states of being.
Okay.
You can find it on Amazon.
Awesome. That's a great resource for anyone who wants to go deeper.
Yeah, it is.
What I love about this whole conversation is it empowers us to take control of our own, spiritual growth.
Yeah.
It's not about depending on those external authorities or gurus or anything.
Right.
It's about developing our own inner compass and trusting that wisdom inside.
Right. Exactly. And remember, Betty, the biggest changes often start with small, consistent steps.
Good point.
It's about adding practices into your daily life that help you be present, be still, and reflect.
Right.
Maybe that's meditation, journaling, spending time in nature, whatever resonates.
Yeah. Whatever works for you to tune into that inner voice.
Right.
That's such an important reminder.
It is.
It's not about chasing some big mystical experience, but about making these principles part of our everyday lives. Finding the sacred in the ordinary.
Exactly. And as we build this inner connection, we might start to notice synchronicities.
Oh, yeah.
Those little meaningful coincidences that guide us.
I love those.
Right.
Those synchronicities are like little wings from the universe, right? Letting us know we're on the right path.
Yeah.
It's about paying attention to those subtle signs and trusting that we're being guided towards our potential.
And as we trust that guidance, we might find that the answers come to us in unexpected ways. Sometimes it's through a conversation or a book, a song. Right.
It's those random moments that spark something deep inside us.
It's like the universe is always communicating with us, offering guidance and support.
It is.
But we have to tune in and listen. And when we cultivate that openness, we open ourselves up to endless possibilities.
And that's really what this journey of consciousness is all about, right?
Yeah.
Embracing the mystery, trusting the process, and letting ourselves be guided to who we really are.
Beautifully said. So, Betty, as we dive deeper into this session, let's remember that it's not just about understanding these concepts intellectually. It's about embodying them. What really stood out to you? What parts made you feel something?
Those are your clues to your own unique path.
Yeah.
And it's not about comparing yourself to others. It's about honoring your own inner wisdom and trusting your own path.
So let's talk about those physical experiences Jessica had during the channeling. We talked about how they represent realizations and changes.
But I'm curious, what might those changes actually look like? What kind of changes might someone notice as they connect with this deeper awareness?
Right. It's like those contractions were like her shedding those old patterns and beliefs.
Yeah.
Things that weren't helping her anymore.
Yeah.
It's a powerful image, right?
It is. It really is. And what's fascinating is that the channeled energy didn't, get into the specifics about what those transformations were.
Right.
It was more like giving like a framework for understanding how it works. Like one of the takeaways was, this whole idea of shifts in perspective.
Exactly.
So instead of giving her, straight up answers, it was more about helping her see things differently, like giving her the power to find her own answers, her own way.
Exactly. It's like that saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime.
Right.
It wasn't about handing her a ready-made solution. It was about guiding her toward like a deeper understanding of herself and her own inner wisdom.
And, that process of self-discovery, it just keeps going, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we have one aha moment and boom, we're enlightened.
Right.
It's always evolving.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this whole hypnochanneling thing so exciting.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting knowledge or having a one-time mystical experience.
Right.
It's about going on a journey, exploring yourself, peeling back layers, and discovering who you truly are.
And Betty, remember, you have access to those same tools. Naomi's The Next Level You book series on Amazon really delves into all of this and gives some practical steps for raising your own consciousness.
Yeah. And don't underestimate the power of your own, intention and commitment to this journey. It's like planting a seed and taking care of it.
Right.
With consistent effort and an open mind, you can make those same incredible shifts within yourself.
So Betty, as we wrap up this deep dive into hypnochanneling, think about what really stuck with you, what felt familiar, what made you curious to explore more.
Those are like whispers from your soul guiding you towards your truth. Trust those whispers. Be curious.
Right.
And remember, every journey, no matter how long, begins with a single step.
Beautifully said. This has been a truly mind-blowing conversation, and we hope it's inspired you and given you the power to start your own journey of self-discovery. Until next time, keep diving deep.
See ya, Betty.
Bye.
Level 2 Quantum Healing Hypnotherapist, Naomi practices hypnochanneling, inviting energies to connect through highly hypnotizable individuals, bringing messages from higher realms. If you have paranormal, NDE, or spiritual experiences, or interest in QHHT, contact us at healingandretreats.com. In this hypnochanneling session, Naomi channeled the mushroom energy, gaining insights into the role of intent and trust in entheogenic experiences, and understanding the shared spiritual purpose of substances like mushrooms and ayahuasca in fostering unity, awareness, and interconnectedness.
I like to invite this energy that can be the mushroom energy from last night, or the energy for, I'm not sure, for the mushroom or for this session, whatever the appropriate energy. I like to ask questions for me to understand a bit more, so I can learn more. If you can come through, and when I count to 3, you'll be here. And thank you for being here in advance. 1 and 2 and 3. Is this the mushroom energy for last night? Yes. I feel the energy is a little bit different from the one I took before. What do you can?
It's vibrating higher.
Because what?
The people who grew it, their intentions just aligns.
So I can go, I feel so much deeper.
Yeah.
And also I feel like I can be almost conscious, but as soon as I want to go within, then I can go very deep, but without feeling too dramatic. What is the mushrooms teaching?
About life.
And how we're connected with the universe.
How things affect each other.
So what's the difference between this teaching and also from ayahuasca? What's the main difference?
Why is there a focus on the difference?
Is to understand more.
They serve the same purpose, yes.
Say one more time.
They serve the same purpose, yes.
Same purpose. So it's very similar.
The idea is to not focus on the difference, but rather what both can bring.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I feel they can almost serve the same purpose. I don't feel much difference.
Of course, but again, it's also like a permission slip. It really highly depends on the person's intentions and their energy, how they react to it.
Right. Of course. Yeah. So do you know that when I was channeling my higher self?
You were channeling higher energies and higher channels. And within that channel, there's many more different representations of how you see them. For example, you may see them as your higher self. You may also see them as your spirit guides or past versions of yourself, parallel versions of yourself that are in spirit with you.
So it's a group.
Yes, you can say it's a group. It's a collective of energy. It's a collection of energy that are related to you, that you see have value or that can offer you guidance, yes.
So I can do that without the medicine?
You're always connected. You were just made aware that you were more connected.
But I tried like without medicine, then it's just...
So why are you trying? What is there to try? When you just trust, you just do it.
Right, because with the medicine, I would say I trust more. That's the difference.
You just take off your human armor, your human preset, human mind, and you just automatically trust. Right. But as humans, you have a lot more restrictions in the sense where there are some rules as to how you can think and what you can perceive.
Right. I can see when you're saying that. I can see myself just can overcome that.
It's just tapping into that energy. Just know that you can because you're doing it.
But then I feel like it's hard to talk a little bit because it's deep, and so the voice becomes like...
There's no need to talk. You just understand it to experience it.
But when I talk, I visualize. I talk about what I was visualizing, and it's so easy. So that's my way.
Yeah.
Right. So I can maybe do that because I want to get the message out. So now because the medicine make me understand it's possible.
This instrument.
So you are
the medicine itself.
So every time it's you?
No.
Oh.
I cannot say that will be the same exact me every time. But there will always be an appropriate energy to answer your questions. As the universe works in magical ways, every piece has its part.
I see. And also this body contraction, I do that often when I have...
It's just energy moving within your physical body. Because it's energy that affects your physical body, and it's just expressed in many different ways.
I see. But that's just my body condition.
Yes.
So when that happens, I can say I know there's energy, or is there... I feel when I'm doing that, there's standing. There's something new. I feel. Do you sense that? There's some
new realizations, yes. And it can very much well also be different perspective of the same things that you have been looking at. That's the beauty of everything.
It's like some sort of a micro transformation.
Yes.
Very good. I really appreciate this communication, and I'm very honored speaking with you, and I will speak with you in the future. Thanks again.